One of the questions that the people had was, how do we get started? What do we do? We don't know what materials we need. We are really lost. So I said, okay, the next in this edition, I will just throw some light upon. I will just throw some light upon what you need to really get started and how you can get started in the most inexpensive manner. Good evening and welcome back to Tea with CV. This is our fourth edition from Bangalore, our little vlog studio. I'm happy to be with you this evening, and I'm going to be explaining to you today based upon the questions and queries that I received from different parts of India. Especially viewers who watched my first three videos on the YouTube channel. One of the questions that the people had was, how do we get started? What do we do? We don't know what materials we need. We are really lost. So I said, okay, the next in this edition, I will just throw some light upon. What you need to really get started and how you can get started in the most inexpensive manner, without compromising on quality and those kind of things. So one of the questions that I got was, CV sir, can you, what should be the smallest size, or what should be the size of my terrace garden, for example, where I want to start practicing hydroponics or soilless cultivation? So I actually thought of it as a good idea to explain today what it means. See, it all depends upon how much time you have. It also depends on what budget you have for your prototype garden. And if you think that you have less time in a day to look after your plants or be with your plants, then the right thing to do would be to have a smaller garden. When I say small, it can be as small as even 50 square feet or even 20 square feet. It really doesn't matter. The question is, if you have a garden that's really big, then you got to look after different plants which are at different stages of growth. You'll have to make the electrical conductivity and pH right for different crops. So that's a lot of work. But if you don't have the time, then you can just have go for some deep water culture systems, growing some leafy vegetables and things like that, where you really don't have to, other than just adjusting the EC and pH once in a day, you really don't have to worry much because it takes care of itself. Having said that, if you have a cocoa peat media, for example, and you're growing in media culture, then of course you need to have, if you have just a single crop, then you can even have a drip irrigation by gravity kind of a system. And if you don't have the time to water by hand. Otherwise, what you need to really do is make sure that your plants are taken care of in a timely manner. So size wise, you can start from anywhere from 20 square feet, you can go as high as 500 square feet, provided you have the time and the ability to look after the plants. Now, what are the things that we really need when we start? We need to have a bill of material. A bill of material will consist of what? You need, say for example, if you're going to do a DWC or a deep water culture system, then you might have to go in for a small plastic tub. You'll have to buy some thermocol or styrofoam, which is of course high density, and in that high density thermocol you make holes. You can put net pots if you like. If you don't want to spend money on net pots, then you can use sponge as well. When you transplant your plant, you cut the sponge into half, put the stem in and squeeze it and put it into the slots which are there on the thermocol. You will need an aerator pump, and which of course are very inexpensive and they're available. You can buy them on Amazon or Flipkart. And so that is the DWC part of it. If you're going to be doing cocoa peat cultivation, for example, then what do you need? You need to have grow bags. You need nutrition. You need grow bags, and you need to have different sizes of grow bags, because different sizes of grow bags are meant for different types of plants based upon their root mass and the root density, and also the life cycle of the crop. If it's very long, obviously you're going to get a lot of root formation. So soilless agriculture, when you're going to be doing the soilless agriculture, you need to have certain items which are very important, and you need them. So one of the things also that you need, other than the grow bags, is you need to have a pH probe, and also you can have a electrical conductivity probe. Now this is a thing that's like a doctor's stethoscope. Every person who works with hydroponics or soilless agriculture must have their own EC and pH probe, which they don't share with anybody, and they maintain it and they keep it very safely, so that they don't go out of calibration. Then what are the other things that you would need? Okay, grow bags, you need to have coco peat media. If you're going to be using coco peat media, then you need to have low EC washed coco peat, and as much as possible the EC should be as low as 0.2 to 0.3 in the media. If it's a little more, then you need to wash it with maybe distilled water or with low EC water, so that you wash off the excessive salt before even using it. Now, when you actually make the grow bags, you're going to be adding friendly microbes which keep away fungal attacks, stem rot, root rot, and those kind of things. They are pre-mixed, or the media is amended. Some places, some farmers, what they do is they actually mix seaweed extract and amend the media. That also gives a lot of push to the growth of the plant, so the root zone is kept in a healthy condition. The other things that you would need are mainly seeds. Now seeds, again, as I have always mentioned in different forums and during my talks earlier, the seed has to be of a very good quality. Preferably do not buy from a trader. The reason why you should not buy from a trader is because traders buy seeds from everywhere, and they themselves may not have an idea as to what the package of practice for that particular variety of crop is. Always try to ask a farmer, a successful farmer, you're growing whatever crop, and ask him what kind of seeds does he use. If he is willing to tell you, you can buy those seeds and for that particular environment where you are. Otherwise, just contact a good seed company. And there are good kitchen garden seed companies like Sarpan Hybrids in Dharwad, Karnataka. They are very good. So there are many others also in India. They make kitchen garden seeds. If you can buy directly from the company, the chances are that you will get more information as you require about that particular seed and about that particular crop. So it's always good to have a package of practice for the crop as much as you can. Then coming to so seeds I mentioned, and the seeds have to be in date. That means you must check their expiry date, and you should see how much more time is there. You have to also know when to sow them and what is the right way of sowing them. That's a different topic altogether, seeding, which we'll discuss in some other Tea with CV series. And you'll also need to have microbes. So there are different kinds of microbes that are used. There's a whole big list of microbes, friendly microbes that can be used, or friendly bacteria as I call it, that can be used. And some of the bacteria can be like Trichoderma viridi, Trichoderma harzianum, Verticillium lecani, Pseudomonas fluorescens, and there are so many varieties of bacteria that can be used. They are all meant for different purposes. Some are bio-pesticides, some are bio-fungicides, some are used at the nursery level itself to avoid what we call damping off and those kind of problems. So you should have a complete list of microbes, and preferably get those microbes so that they can be used at the right time at the right place. Then what are the other things that you need? You might need to have some micronutrient foliar sprays. Micronutrient foliar sprays are very important because sometimes you may need to augment the feed to the plant, not just when you fertigate the plant at the media level. You might have to spray the leaves of the plants with certain foliar sprays, which are micronutrient sprays, which may be missing in your fertigation, or just to augment the growth of the plant. So you need to have micronutrient foliar sprays which are used during the grow stage and the bloom stage or the flowering stage. Then comes, of course, what we call as seeding trays. Seeding trays, or some people call it propagation trays, and those kind of things. And what you need to understand is you should understand which crop you're going to grow, and based on the crop you're going to grow, you should know what kind of seeding tray do you need? Do you need a 50-hole one? Do you need a 98-hole one? Or do you need a 288-hole one? So you have to first understand which crop. Based on that, you select the right seeding tray. If you like to have more information on what kind of trays are used for what kind of vegetables and other crops, there is a company which I know of. It's called Sujala Agroplast. They are based in Nasik, I think. You can Google them, and on their web page you can actually see the various seedling trays that I mentioned and what crops they used for. So that's a useful input. Seeding trays, again you get two types. One is the throwaway type seedling trays, which are low micron thickness, and there are those which can be used very often, maybe for a year or two. It again depends how you preserve them, how you keep them. If you keep them too much in the heat, then they actually become very brittle. They lose their UV protection, and they just crack and break away. So it's very important that for seed when you do seeding, you should have the right seeding tray. Like I said, grow bags. Now grow bags, again I'm coming to, the size of the grow bag should be based upon the crop that you've chosen. So find out what should be the right size of grow bag for growing a particular plant. Like even if you are going to grow coriander or something, it doesn't need much depth as such. You can grow them in much smaller grow bags. But if you're going to grow, say, a long-term crop like a tomato or a brinjal or a capsicum or a cucumber, then obviously you need to have larger bags. Generally we start off with around 5-gallon capacity grow bags. The grow bags come totally black, and also you get grow bags which are white on the outside and black on the inside. Those are actually the real good ones, because the white outside actually reflects all the heat away, so it doesn't make the media extremely hot. Then of course we have what we call as sticky traps. Sticky traps, of course, you get the yellow and blue sticky traps, and the blue sticky traps are basically for thrips, and the yellow sticky traps are good for white flies and aphids and things like that. You must have sufficient amount of sticky traps that you need to hang over the plants, so that you don't have to, because if you're not going to be using a pesticide, these are the mechanical controls that you have in your hand, like friendly microbes and sticky traps and sticky tapes. So these are pretty much the things that you need. Now structure, what about the structure? The structure is basically, it can be a very simple structure. It can be either a polyfilm that slopes from one end to the other, depending on what your roof configuration is, or you can just build a structure which is an A-shaped formation, so that if there's rain, the water flows away. And on the sides, what you can do is you can put a simple insect mesh all around, and you can have a little door if you like. Now when I say all this, I don't say that you have to have a structure. Now in some places the rains are very less. In such places you can even grow completely, the plants are open to sky. And there are many plants like okra, brinjal, they love the open, and they're very happy with in that condition. So these are pretty much the things that you need to have to start off. So I'll repeat again, if you're doing a DWC, then if you're or a deep water culture system, you need a tub, a plastic tub, you need thermocol, you need an aerator pump, and maybe some sponge for fixing the plants into the slots, or you can even use net pots if you like. Then comes nutrients. As I said, you need to have grow and bloom nutrients like these. This is the grow nutrient, and this is the grow nutrient, and you also need to have the bloom nutrient, and you also need, that is for plants that are shooting vegetables, that where the fruits are seen on the surface or above the median. And if you're going to be growing root vegetables like beetroot, carrot, or tapioca, or arrowroot, or any of those things, then you need to have grow nutrient, and then you shift over to the root nutrient when you start seeing new root growth. So you need to have those kind of nutrition, and of a very good quality. Especially it should be technical grade, it should be 100% water soluble, and it should be 99.98% purity. So that is another thing you should also understand, that nutrients come in two forms. One, they come in liquid form, and some come in solid form. So it's up to you. I would suggest you always buy the nutrients in a powder form, because you don't pay for transporting water, and you also get more bang for your buck. So that's very important to remember. Yeah, that's pretty much what you need to have to get started. And I wish all of you happy growing. And I'll keep talking like this on so many different topics which might benefit you, because a lot of people are confused, especially when you're new to the whole field. You don't know where to go for what. At CV Hydro, we also provide kits based upon your size of your garden. If any of you are interested, you can just give me a call or just send me a WhatsApp message. My number is 9743219388. So you can just send me a WhatsApp number, and if you tell me what is the size of the garden that you're planning to do, I will tell you what you need for that kind of a garden, what in terms of bill of material and the quantities. So yes, and good news is that we've also started retailing one of the world-class quality coco peat blocks, and they are available from the 1st of July retail sale. And also we've got our nutrition, again world-class nutrients, which more than 1,000 people in this country use for the over 12 years. They've been buying from us, and it works really well. So that is there, and of course these kits if you need. So thank you very much for viewing my Tea with CV series, and some of you have been following very diligently, and many of you I've seen who are interested keep calling me and troubling me. It's okay, I don't have a problem. I'm here to help. And yes, and also do not forget to follow us on our Instagram, on our Facebook page, and our LinkedIn page. And the quiz has already been announced on Instagram, and it's ongoing. And we also will be having a very interesting quiz competition, which will be a live competition, not on the scale of like on big television media, but we're doing something called Kaun Banega Hydropati. And the winner of the contest will be given some very handsome and beautiful prizes. And I ask you to take part in that quiz. All the questions are very simple, and some of them are quite humorous and funny, the answers. So they're basically objective type questions, so you just have to take the right answer. Keep coming back to us for more information as we go. There's a lot of things that one needs to know as a budding hydropreneur, as I call it. It's always nice to start on a clean sheet, start learning like a small child, and working with plants is always a pleasure. It brings down your blood pressure, it keeps your diabetes in check, and if you grow your own vegetables at home, you're the luckiest person, because you know what you've grown and you know what you're eating. And especially in times of COVID and other things, we are very scared with people handling your vegetables and things like that. So be safe and keep safe, wear your mask and move around. I am not wearing a mask right now because I'm in my own room, not outside in public, so yeah. And we've been doing some amazing stuff. My boys here at the long-term training course of 90-day training program, my kids have been doing awesome work. We have drumstick which was planted 3 months and 15 days ago, and the drumsticks have grown as tall as a giraffe, and they are already started to fruit. That means in 3 months and 15 days we're starting to see fruiting. And I'll be back with pictures for you in my next few Tea with CV sessions, and I'll show you those drumsticks. You'll be really overawed when you see that. And then yesterday we did at the training center, we did root zone inspection of groundnut or peanut, and we're growing peanut and coco peat, and we had some awesome number of peanut pods, and they're so healthy. My students broke some of them and ate the inner kernels, and I must congratulate them for the kind of work they've done. And it's more R&D. They learned. They also learned something very interesting, that in one grow bag they had 2 plants. So when they put 2 plants, what happened is the root mass was too high, and because of which one which was the stronger plant actually had more pods, than the other plant by about 10 to 15% difference. So the students' takeaway was plant spacing, row spacing. What should be the distance between two plants in a row? That's called your plant spacing. And what is the lateral distance between two rows is called row spacing. So plant spacing and row spacing are very important to know when you actually plant or do a crop. If you make a mistake, it can also affect your yield and things like that. So I will sign off now. Thank you very much for being with me at Tea with CV, and happy hydroponicking, and stay safe, and goodbye and Godspeed. Good luck. Thank you. Bye. Good evening, viewers, and this is the time for me to announce the results of the third running quiz that's been happening in the past 3 weeks. And indeed, I'm quite happy today to say that the results have actually made me very happy, because for the first time in 3 quiz competitions, I got one person who took the quiz who scored 100%. And I also got nearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 90 percenters, 2 80 percenters, and 2 70 percenters, and 1 40%. So the results of the quiz, the winners of the quiz are the first 5 entries, which are above 80%. And we have Mr. Kuldeep Singh Rathore from Rajasthan, Vishweshwar Pai from Cochin, Rashmi Joshi is a winner, but she won't get a prize because last time she won a prize and she's taken her goodies. Subrata Naskar, Tangja Maiti is also happens to be one of my old students from Manipur, and Jatin Agarwal will get the prize in place of Rashmi Joshi. So other than the first one, Kuldeep Singh Rathore, the rest have scored 90%. Congratulations. I'm very happy to announce that all of you will be delivered a small introductory nutrient kit of mine, all expenses paid to your destinations, and it will be sent to you very soon. Well done, and I'm really happy to see a lot of progress. People are taking a lot of interest in the quiz, which is heartwarming. And Kuldeep is a champion in the third knockout round. We have also got, he scored 60% in the first quiz. He skipped the second one for some reason, and he came, saw and conquered the third one. Kudos to him, and congrats to participants again who scored more than 80%. The top 5 winners, Kuldeep, Vishweshwar, Rashmi, Subrata and Tangja, and also Jatin Agarwal. All those who have scored more than 60% till today in all the 3 quiz competitions are qualified for our knockout round on the 26th of June 2020. The list will be shared soon on our website. Stay tuned. We'll post an update on our Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn social media channels. The knockout round and rules of the further rounds will also be shared along with the list of qualified participants. The knockout round will have only 10 participants, and the method used is fastest finger first method, and it will be a live quiz with me. It could be on one of the social media platforms, or it could be on YouTube itself. So follow our journey and follow the action that is to come. And just to let you know why we are doing these quiz competitions, you may wonder. Number 1, to promote awareness about focusing on general knowledge and as a foundation for people entering into the hydroponics or soilless agriculture field. Number 2, to create a culture of social learning with fun within the domain of hydroponics, and to inspire people who are willing to learn and get started with such actions. So congratulations to all winners. We have your addresses. If we need any more details to send you your kits, we'll ask for it. And thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned, be with us Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and our Facebook, our web page, which is cvhydro.in, and let's all grow together. Thank you very much. God bless, Godspeed, and good luck. Thank you. Bye.